the floor.
I mean, that's all you really need to know. I'm like, now what do I say? I mean, that's the best introduction ever. Good morning, everyone. Oh, this is so neat. For like, I don't know, all these last 16 events, I've been like over there watching all the amazing speakers, and now I'm over here. This is dreams, okay? Dreams do come true. So just know that. So this theme of game, oh my gosh, it was a little challenging to say the least, when I'm like, okay, well, I don't really play sports, I'm not all that competitive, like what am I going to talk about? And so I did this really interesting creative process, or my interesting creative process, and so I was just throwing out the word game in any way that I could. So I started with sports games and relationship games, political games, Game of Thrones, right? See, I knew. Okay, and like the game of life, right? So all these different types of games, and I could talk about a couple of those, but then I'm like, those don't really feel right to me. So then I continued this process, and then I started putting game in sentences, like, let's play a game, or I'm game. Ugh, this is such a game. 3 completely different connotations with the word game, and all the different definitions of the word game. One is really playful and like, let's do something fun. Another is, I'm ready for this, right? I'm so ready, I'm game. And then the last one is really skeptical and cynical and tells you that some game that you're about to play is totally rigged. So just walk away. And that's English, okay? So that's English for you. And so in order for me to like get back to who I am, I had to come back to self. And that's my, if you hang out with me long enough, you will always come back to self on this. So as a public speaker and a clarity coach, a facilitator, and really just an advocate for social change, I'm like, what is it that I ultimately do? Well, I work with one particular element that is the same in every game ever played. Can you guess what that element is? It's you. Yep, all my work revolves around you. So you, the one with the stories, you, the one with the power, you, the one with the ideas, you, the one with the values, the character, the ideology, all of these things constantly changing our perception of reality, and when implemented, has the ability to change the game and change the world. It's you, the player. But even more importantly than you just being a player in the game, my focus is for you to be a game changer, all right? A game changer. So do we know the definition of a game changer? No? Okay, so let me tell you, in case you were wondering. So this is totally Webster, all right? So it's a newly introduced element or factor that changes an existing situation in a significant way. That's a game changer. So I want to like go back to the word significant, because significant we would like to think is always positive, but it's not. You can be a total negative game changer. And so it's like the word impact, right? You want to create impact in the world, which is always awesome, but you can create impact in the world and it'd be really negative. So for our purpose here today, I roll with do-gooders. Like that's just my thing. So people like Creative Mornings, people that give a damn. So I'm just gonna assume, even if you're not, just like keep it down, but I'm gonna assume that you wanna be a do-gooder in here, right? So we're gonna focus on a positive game changer. You guys okay with that? Yeah. All right, cool. So I wanna do a quick poll in the room so that everyone participates. Just close your eyes. So that way you don't have to, should I raise my hand or shouldn't I raise my hand? Close your eyes. Okay, how many of you are looking to be a game changer in your own personal life? Okay, yeah, everybody's hand. Awesome. I mean, I would hope so, right? And how many of you are looking to be a game changer in the lives of those around you, like your family, friends, coworkers, colleagues? Again, you guys are really great people. And how many of you are looking to be a game changer in the world? Like you want to do something big, epic, and have this like massive ripple effect all over the globe. Okay, a little less, but still enough. No, still, I'm in the room. I feel like really good about this group. So awesome, you can open your eyes. Cool, thanks for your participation. So I just want you to know that all of you now have set the intention of being a game changer. So just by setting that intention, you will be a game changer. You're more conscious to that concept of being a game changer, so you will. So whenever you're having one of those bad days where you're like, oh, my life, and you're feeling like you're not progressing, just know that you are a game changer, okay? So let me quickly affirm you so that you can always affirm yourself. On the count of 3, I want you to say, I am a game changer. Are we okay with that? 1, 2, 3.
I am a game changer.
Ooh, all the coffee has kicked in this morning. That's really solid. So thanks. Great. So you are a game changer. So always remember that. So I guess we can play the game. We can start with this game. So this game has about 3 levels to it that I'm gonna walk you through. And so I like this whole participation thing. I know that I'm working really hard up here and I like to make you work too. So as we get to each new level, I'm gonna say, shall we proceed? And your only job is really simple, is to say yes. Okay, that's it. And if you wanna say no, keep it to yourself. But your only job is to say yes. So let's do a test run. Shall we proceed?
Yes.
Ooh, I love it, with such conviction. Okay, good. All right, we're good to go. So let's start.
Welcome. Can you guys still hear me? It's a little weird, right? But roll with it. Welcome to the game of life, where there is only one rule, okay? So I want you to listen closely, because if you mess this up, you will mess up your life, okay? So no pressure. But no, really, there's only one rule to this game. You have a responsibility to humanity and the planet to connect, grow, and become the best version of yourself. Okay? That is the rule of the game. If you abide by this rule of the game, we can get to the next level. Shall we proceed? Yes.
Okay, you guys got it. All right, cool. So welcome to level 1 of this game. And level 1 is owning who you are. So here's a little hint. It's a ninja hint that will get you through and be really successful in all the levels of this game. You are the only one that needs to be conquered. All right, you are the only one that needs to be conquered. So let's go over that rule one more time. You have a responsibility to humanity and the planet to connect, grow, and become the best version of yourself. I want that to like completely sink in for a moment. Let it come over you like a waterfall. You, a singular human in this room, have such a great responsibility to all of humanity. I mean, that's like a big feat, right? All of humanity in the planet, to connect, grow, and become the best version of who you are. Why is that? Why do we need to do that? Well, we're all connected, whether we think so or not. We are all passing energy from one person to the other, from object to thing, whether we think so or not. Our actions, our habits, our choices, our understanding, and our biases are impacting the world around us, whether we think so or not. So, what do we do in this level? How do we continue? Well, we have to own who we are. And the part about owning who you are is really getting to the core of yourself, your understanding, your core values, what matters to you, what makes you tick, why you do what you do. What do you want to do? Understanding all those things is going to help you create better, more aligned actions and creations that won't be so heavily influenced by society, by your family, your friends. People that you see on TV and social media can't constantly tell you what you have to have, what you need to be doing, what you want. But you, at the core of your existence, you know that for yourself. When you can do that for yourself, you unlock that first level of personal freedom. It's like those coins in a game. Like you get all the coins, and it's really awesome. You feel good about it. But this level of the game is really tricky. It's rarely conquered. Why do we have such a hard time conquering ourselves? I wonder. Well, I think that everyone is equally as important as the next person in this room. We are equally as powerful. But society tends to tell us otherwise. We are not all considered equal. We are not all considered equally as powerful. I think a lot of our self-perception is constructed by society and what society thinks. I have a couple of examples. Being a woman, right? Yeah, I'm going there. So society may say that women are less important to some degree than men. Are we, ladies? No, we don't agree with that. But others have constructed, crafted, designed, created a society that tells us otherwise. Being Black, especially here in America, tells me that my life is not nearly as valued is that of a white person's life. Is that true? No, I don't think so. Ugh. But a history of racism and bigotry and complicit behavior, even into 2018, tells me there is a lot of people that still agree with that statement. So our self-perception is created by these social constructs, right? So in order for us to get out of these social constructs, along with our own experiences that, come from our past and all these things that just make us really confused, like what is life, what am I supposed to be here to do, and who's gonna get out of my way to let me do it, we have to do some work. This level is all about personal growth and self-discovery. But a part of that work, and what makes it really difficult, is that you have to own your history. As in your own personal history, right? All your stuff in the past, all that baggage, you gotta bring it up. And as well as your ancestral history. All of that history combined tells you a lot about who you are today. It tells you a lot about your mindset. It tells you a lot about circumstances that we see that's even outside of ourselves. It tells you a lot about your privilege and lack thereof privilege. So why is all of this stuff important? Why does it matter? Because this is where it starts. It starts right here with you. I'm sure you've heard that saying, like, change starts with you, right? It's pretty cliche, but it's true. Change does start with you. So in order to change, you have to know that this is where growth happens. And it's really uncomfortable sometimes. But in order to be a positive game changer, because that's what we all agreed to, that we were gonna be positive game changers. In order to be a positive game changer, you must be willing to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So as you're doing this work of getting better at really connecting and growing and becoming a better version of yourself, you can't help but be more conscious. You become more conscious. It's just like a side effect of like awakening. You become more conscious, and when you're more conscious, you're then able to help and heal those around you. Not having to necessarily do anything big or extra. You don't have to start a new business. You don't have to create a fancy organization. You just have to be you. You just have to be present. And you start impacting those around you for better. Which leads me to, and then I think I had a slide, be intentional about how you live your life. But leads me to level 2. So again, welcome to the game. Level 2 is impacting those around you. And then in this level, the rule remains the same. You have one rule that you need to go by. And that is, you have a responsibility to humanity and the planet to connect, grow, and become the best version of yourself. If you're still in this game to win, shall we proceed?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, yes, I love it. Welcome. So the narrator of the game, me and her, we're like, we're not the same. We're separate. Here on level 2, it's your impact on those around you. What does this look like here at level 2? Well, on level 2, you have a better perception of yourself. You are now on this like everyday growth journey of learning more and more about who you are, owning your history, what matters to you and what makes you tick. Here, you also begin to be more into this process where you're gonna start having more introspective thoughts. You're going to be more understanding and empathetic around who you are and what you want to do. You're going to be more, or you're going to be able to acknowledge your own faults. You're going to be less defensive and more inquisitive, and you'll become more willing to do the inner and outer work that's necessary for you to change your environment in a positive way. I mean, I don't know about you, but level 2 sounds pretty awesome, okay? So when you're able to do this, you own this energy that is you. And you're able to influence those around you and elevate their energy for the better. But what happens when you didn't really conquer level 1? Well, you start impacting people, and maybe not in a positive way. Of course, we all impact people in a positive way, but then we also impact people in a negative way, okay? So what does that look like if you haven't really gone through level 1 and those side effects of level 2 aren't there? Well, how many of you have had a bad day? Okay, okay, we all have bad days. How many of you know that when you have a bad day, it's likely that you're gonna alter the mood of someone probably the closest to you, right? Own it, those who didn't raise your hand. It's true. So I want to give a brief story about what happens when you don't own your energy. So you are having a bad day, life is just, you're over it. And you go into work, you're doing this project with Sarah. And Sarah is presenting to you her side of the project. And you're looking at her like, Sarah, this is not right. But instead of working with Sarah to come up with a solution, you're like, Sarah, what are you, stupid? What is this? Please just go change it. So Sarah's like, who is she calling stupid? But before she can start a fight, you're already gone. And she's now thinking to herself, am I stupid? What did I do? I just worked so hard on this thing. So she goes to the water cooler and she meets another coworker, John. And so she's venting at John, telling John about what just happened. And John's like, oh no, it's okay. You're just gonna go, you're gonna fix this little problem. It's gonna be fine. And she's like, listen, John, you don't understand. You don't know what it's like to be me, what it's like to be a woman, what it's like to be under the thumb of this person. You will never get it. John, just go away. So she walks away and John's like, yo, what is wrong with this chick? John realizes that he already had a fight with his wife the night before. Now he's having a fight with his friend and he's like, what is happening? What is going on? But instead of John owning his energy, he then calls his wife at lunch and decides he's gonna continue that fight from the night before. And the wife's like, okay, I have a lot of deadlines at work today. What is this man doing? And now she's upset. So she gets home and her son is there, really excited to see her, wants to tell her about this A that he got on an exam. And she's just like, he's like, Mom, look, and no. I've had a rough day today. I really can't right now. So just please go to your room. Son's like, but go to your room. So he goes to his room, rips up his test, throws it in a trash, and now he's angry. He has his own anger issues that he's working through. But now he feels like he's not welcomed in his own home and his parents don't even want to talk to him. So he goes to school the next day and he bullies a kid and he physically hurts this kid. I'm gonna stop the story here. Now this is a hypothetical story, but how many of you have been on the giving or receiving end of something like this? And the rest of y'all is lying. We don't see what our impact does. And we don't want to claim when we have a negative impact, right? We always want to claim the positive ripple effect that we have in the world. I did this really epic thing and it changed everybody's life and it was cool. But we don't want to claim or be responsible for our small piece of the humanity and planet puzzle when we do something negative, because we have no idea what that kid is going through now. It's so far removed from us, we have no idea that we even did that, right? So when we think about our own personal lives, that's one thing. And then when we think about social justice and social change issues, it's this big macrocosm that's so major, so complex. We're really far removed from that because it's usually so out of touch and out of reach within our own personal realities. But I have a really good example about how everyday microaggressions have a ripple effect. Who learned about the Starbucks thing that just happened a week ago? Everyone heard about the Starbucks incident? I won't get into it, but you can Google it. So we have one store manager who has her own thoughts and unconscious bias and maybe a little conscious bias, but who takes one action that ends up arresting 2 black men and detaining them for absolutely no reason, a national, if not worldwide, uproar of this major corporation that is Starbucks. And a lot of us get to have this uncomfortable conversation again about racial profiling and discrimination in 2018. Single human ripple effect. Okay? So you are responsible, or you have a responsibility to humanity and the planet to connect, grow, and become the best version of yourself. You are more significant than you give yourself credit for. Own your energy. Own your energy. This is me at Social House. If you've never been, it's an awesome co-working space, just a plug. But on Tuesday mornings, right now we're doing a little session. On Tuesday mornings, I hold some space and I have some of my shifters in the room today where they come, my housemates as well as the community, is open to the community, come and I help them fill their cup. It's called the morning shift. We meditate, they journal, read, we do some movement, and I lightly coach them around a centering thought that may be impacting them in their life or in their business. But my hope for them that day is that they become more introspective, so that when they go out into the world, meet a client, interact with family, friends, whomever, they're now thinking more compassionate about themselves and where they are in their lives, therefore being a positive game changer moving forward. We all can do this. You don't have to come sit in a circle with me, okay? We all have the ability to do this for ourselves at any given moment. So own that ability. Which leads me to our last level.
Welcome back to the game, everybody. We are now entering level 3, where you are going to be exploring your impact on humanity and the planet. If you want to proceed, we gotta know the rule. You have a responsibility to humanity and the planet to connect, grow, and become the best version of yourself. And if you still abide by this rule, we can move forward. So, shall we proceed?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. Let's do that.
Okay, hi, congratulations. You've made it to level 3. Really cool level, by the way. So here, you went through level 1, you started owning who you are, your history, what makes you tick, all this cool stuff. And level 2, you now took that information about who you are and you begin to, become a better human. And you're now equipped with the ability to own your energy. You're more understanding and more empathetic about your role in other people's lives. And so now here at level 3, you become super powerful. Like, this is like that powerful level where you're just like, oh, I'm awesome. And you come here and you're more conscious. You become more conscious. And by being more conscious, you are now up-leveling to go solely from focusing on your own personal growth and self-achievement to shifting into, what is humanity and what does the planet need from me? What are these people and these issues faced with and why? That becomes your new focus. You're always going to be continuing on the journey of personal growth and development. Like, literally, we're never done. But you can now shift some of that focus on trying to better understand those around you, really understand them, really learn about their issues, their causes, and maybe work to make them your own. So once you're in this level, you're going to constantly be reminded that we're not just a whole bunch of individuals on the planet, but we are a collective. But the tricky thing about this level is that sometimes the humanity and planet work is really tedious. Sometimes this work seems never ending. Some of the side effects of this work is going to be shame and guilt and resentment and anger and pain and just a constant level of being really uncomfortable to talk about these issues. But remember, in order to be a positive game changer, you have to get really comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So, if we know that we are a collective and that we are all a part of this planet, then we know that the imaginary lines that we create and the physical walls that we would like to create don't really matter because we live on one singular planet. So if you want to be a game changer in your life, for the lives of those around you, or for the world, you have to acknowledge that you are already changing the game every day by being you and your impact. So the question that you want to ask yourself is, how am I going to change the game for good? How am I going to be more intentional about how I play this game? When you can recognize that, then you don't have to worry about the game anymore. You don't have to worry about any of the games that you play, because you work with those 3 levels. You'll be able to change any game that you decide to step into. So remember, you have a responsibility to humanity and the planet to connect, grow, and become the best version of yourself. Thank you.